ready, it's time to stir away that anxiety and get to stirring your lemonade. Ooh.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Ooh. My name is NikkiPhillippi, to those of you that don't know me and are new to my channel. Hello, welcome to the craziness that is me. I don't know. Now today, everyone don't get too excited all at once. I'm wearing my YouTube shirt. It is also the beginning of 2016 and this is the first video in my How to Be Happy January series for 2016. Yeah! Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm very excited. Now, this is actually my 4th year of doing How to Be Happy January on my channel. And if you don't know what How to Be Happy January is, it's really easy. It's just like it sounds. It's a video series that I do on my channel where I talk about happiness for the entire month. Now, this idea first came to me about 4 years ago because I started thinking about New Year's resolutions and I was like, well, what are the point? Like, what's the point of resolutions? And kind of after sitting and thinking, it kind of became like a duh moment where I was like, the point of resolutions is because everybody wants to be happier. Everybody wants to make progress, which I think is an essential part of happiness, and everybody wants to feel happier. So I decided 4 years ago to make January its own special month, a conversation around the topic of happiness. I think in general in society it's something that everyone is striving for, everybody wants to achieve, everybody wants to be their happiest self. And I thought that it would be really cool to just have a holistic is the word that I keep using, conversation around the topic of happiness. Now, what's really exciting about this year's How to Be Happy January is that I have actually relaunched my blog, The Gang Magazine, in conjunction with How to Be Happy January, which means on the blog, we're pretty much going to be blogging every single day for the month of January, and all of the topics are going to be around happiness, just like on my YouTube channel. And what's even cooler, I actually said this yesterday because How to Be Happy January, this is actually day 2. Day 1 actually started yesterday on my blog, and I wrote a whole letter post thing where I was saying that in previous years I've always said that I want it to be a conversation, and it has been to some degree. You guys send me your thoughts, you chime in with your ideas and opinions and prayer requests and things like that, and it's really awesome. But in another way, I've kind of been the only one like leading the conversation in like a bigger way, I guess you could say, and I want it to be more than just me leading it. So what I'm doing on my blog is I have contributors. So I have a handful of people that I just really admire and cherish that are going to be writing posts on the topic of happiness, and it's really cool because I think that there's so much to be learned when you listen to other people's perspectives and you get their point of view. I actually quoted this quote in my blog post yesterday called, I said, eat the fish and spit out the bones. And it basically means you take what you want from something and you leave the rest behind. And I think when you get lots of points of view and opinions, you're able to learn so much more, and you don't have to be scared of listening to them when you look at it from that perspective, that if it's not for you, it's not for you. What I really want is I want you guys to get involved. I think what's going to be really cool about my blog is every month we're going to focus on a different theme, and I am going to try and tie my videos into those themes. And the point of the themes is so that hopefully for a month we can all really focus and see the world through that lens and really make progress, because like I said, in my opinion, progress and growth is an essential part of happiness. And so I think it will just be cool. Wait, there was a point to that. Oh, the point is I want you guys to get involved and read all of the posts and come say your thoughts in the comment section here and on the blog. Throw in your encouragement, or if you're having a harder time, or if you need a prayer request, or if you even have a differing opinion, put those in the comment section and feel free to chime in, because I really do want to create a conversation and a community. So I'm looking up the timer. That was a very long intro per the usual. You guys know that I like to blabber. I'm gonna jump into today's video, which is all about anxiety, as you can tell by the title, and dealing with anxiety. And anxiety is definitely something that can get in the way of happiness. For me personally, it can be something that is like crippling and stifling, and it's something that I've dealt with my whole life. And if you want to hear my anxiety story, I guess you could say, stay tuned till the end, because I'm going to do a long blabberfest, or another long blabberfest, I guess you could say, at the end of this video. Actually, no, we're going to jump in now. I'm just going to do it, so I'll see you at the end of this video if you want to keep seeing my blabbery face. Let's do it. All right, so I'm starting off with this anxiety-reducing lemonade that was actually recommended to me by Miss Emily Olson here on YouTube. So you're gonna need some honey, 3 lemons, lavender, a lemon press, and a measuring cup. And I'm starting up by filling up my little jug with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cups of water. Then I'm taking my 3 lemons and cutting them in half. And I'm going to squeeze them into my jug of water whilst making weird faces. Squeezing those into the water, oh yeah. Then I'm gonna fill up about half a cup of honey and I'm going to dump that into the mixture as well. Then I'm gonna do 1 drop of lavender oil into the mix, stir that all together, and once it's stirred together, pour it over some ice and voila.
And then now you will have no more anxiety.
All right, so maybe that's not fully true. But moving on to my next tip, if you're anything like me, when I get really anxious, I actually forget to eat. So I think that making a really simple meal that isn't overwhelming but is aesthetically pleasing and really pretty can really calm you down and feed your body, which is always a good thing and will keep you calmer in general. So I'm gonna cut my sourdough bread in half and pop it in the toaster. And while it's toasting, I'm gonna cut an avocado in half, and then I'm gonna dice up some strawberries. You can take any berries you want. I really like having a little side of berries. And once the toast pops up, I'm going to put some butter on the toast, and then I'm gonna take my avocado and put that on top of the toast as well. The butter and the avocado together is such a creamy, yummy texture. And then I'm gonna take little bits of goat cheese and spread that on the toast as well. Then I'm gonna take my olive oil and drizzle that on top of the bread, and then finally top it off with 2 different kinds of salt, a black Hawaiian sea salt and a chunkier sea salt. And look at that, guys. You have a delicious, easy, aesthetically pleasing, Instagram-worthy meal. And then whilst I was eating, I was scrolling through a relaxing Instagram feed. Check out Honey Holden if you want a relaxing Instagram feed. All right, so my next tip is to reach out to a friend. If you're anything like me, when I feel anxious, I tend to hole up and want to just stay by myself and keep everything to myself. But I find that when I actually make the chutzpah and the courage to reach out to someone and talk to a friend, I almost always end up feeling better. I feel less alone, and they tend to bring me back down to reality, and I don't feel as out of control. So as scary as it is, next time you're stressing out, make yourself reach out to a friend, and I really don't think you'll regret it. All right, so my next tip is taking a drive and listening to an inspirational or positive, uplifting podcast. I have a few people that I really like to listen to. Joyce Meyer is a really great one. She has a podcast that is free to listen to, and it's really encouraging and helps really put me in a positive state of mind and really helps make me feel calm. So my next tip is to take time to breathe. I feel like a lot of us get going, and I know for me, I will take really shallow breaths throughout the day, and it's been proven that taking the time to slow down and take deep breaths and slow your mind down is really helpful for anxiety. So if you can take the time to lie down, maybe put some lavender oil in the general vicinity and take some deep breaths in and deep breaths out, I think that's really going to be helpful for you. All right, guys, so hi, like magic, I'm back. I really hope that those tips were helpful for you. And now, with an awkward segue brought to you by yours truly, I'm gonna hop into my anxiety story. I have struggled with anxiety, like I said, my entire life. I remember being a little girl and getting overly worked up and stressed out about things in my head. I actually didn't realize until last year that it was anxiety that I struggled with. I had never put a name to it. About a year-ish ago, I actually started seeing a therapist, and I've spoken about this before. I think that therapists and counselors and getting outside input is really I don't want to say important, maybe not everybody needs it, but I think it is really useful and can really help you process through things if you're trying to work through something mentally or just grow, or you're just the kind of person that likes feedback. So I started seeing a therapist, and actually the therapist was the one who told me, everything you're describing, that's anxiety. And she actually said that everybody deals with feeling anxious. Sorry, I thought someone was coming into my house. Everybody deals with feeling anxious to some degree or another, but some people have something where when the fight or flight hormone or chemical is released, your body doesn't really regulate it and it just kind of releases a ton. And she basically told me after seeing me for a while that that was what I had, because I will get physical reactions to things, chest pains, shaky, my brain will just be racing and my heart will be racing and I can't slow down. And I'm telling you this, whenever I tell you guys things like this, I always feel like it's like a pity party. Like I kind of feel like, oh, this is so uncomfortable to tell them. But I'm really telling you guys because if you deal with this, I want you to not feel alone, to know that other people deal with it too. And I feel like me, especially as a person, like the general population of people who maybe watch my videos, can tend to look at me as someone who's always happy, as someone who doesn't ever feel down. And that is not true. I was gonna say couldn't be farther from the truth, and I think actually that statement is true. It couldn't be farther from the truth, because while happiness and bubbliness and excitement is a genuine part of my personality, I also really struggle with severe anxiety, and it almost seeps into like depression. And I'm not talking about chemical depression because I know there is a difference, but like just real downer streaks for like extended periods of time sometimes. And what will keep me going is the fact that I know that I have to keep going, and I have to keep growing and learning and pushing forward. But I have struggled with that my whole life, the highs and the lows and the highs and the lows. There's a quote that says like, develop a vision that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. I'm really into like development and self-help and growth type books, and they'll say that. And to be honest, most mornings I don't wake up feeling that way. I don't wake up feeling pumped and excited and just pulled out of bed for the day. Most mornings I wake up feeling sad for no reason. Even when things are going great, I'll wake up feeling just overwhelmed by the prospect of the day. And it takes me just knowing, don't trust how you feel, get out of bed and go. But that will almost make me feel guilty, like bad that I don't feel like I want to jump out of bed in the morning. But I think that a lot of people struggle with that, and then it's not necessarily that easy. For me, sometimes I'd be like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Everything is going so well. I don't have anything to be anxious about, but I feel like the walls are caving in around me and I feel so freaked out and so scared. And so not only do I want you to know that you're not alone, but I also wanted to open up the series with a talk on anxiety, because I think that an essential part of happiness is knowing that you will not be happy all of the time. And I feel kind of like, not bad, but like spoiler alert to the title of this series, that like, it's just, you can't be happy all of the time. And if you think that there's something that you're doing wrong and you can fix it to be happy all of the time, I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because life is hard sometimes, and sometimes you don't know why you feel sad or anxious, and sometimes you do, because people die, people leave your lives, people get sick, people get mad, people lose their jobs, people lose their houses, and stuff happens that it's just not possible, and it would be borderline creepy to be like, I'm just so happy my mother died. It just doesn't work that way. And I think that when going into study, I guess you could say, happiness, you have to know that you will be sad sometimes and you will be anxious sometimes, and that shouldn't stop you from continuing to grow and work through that and make your life better. But you have to know that fact, because otherwise I think it can tend to lead to what I've done in the past, which is beating myself up for not being happy, almost getting angry at myself for not being happy. And I don't think that's a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. I suck at closing thoughts. I don't know if this was helpful for you guys. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I felt like this was where I wanted to start, because every year when How to Be Happy January comes along, I feel like I'm pushing this gimmick, like I have the keys to make you happy, and it kind of makes me feel not like a fraud, because when the series starts I like to address this, but kind of like in the title, that people who don't know, like I'm claiming like I know how to be happy and you're gonna learn from me. And I just think it's important for you guys to know that I'm not happy all the time, and for you to know that you won't be happy all the time. And I think that that is a really good starting off point, to know that if you struggle with those things, you can work on them, they can get better, but they're not going away entirely, and it's okay. It's part of the human experience, I guess you could say, are the ups and the downs and the trials and the tribulations and pushing through them. and learning and growing. The last thing is, if you talk about how to be happy January on social media, use the hashtag how to be happy January so that myself on either my account or on my blog, we can see what you're saying. And I'm also going to be featuring people's quotes, input, all of that from the comment section and from social media in my upcoming videos this month for How to Be Happy January. So yeah, that's it, guys. I love you all so much. I hope you feel the love and the encouragement through the camera lens. I'm trying to shoot it right there through it to you, and I will see you all very soon with a new video, and yeah, with a blog post as well. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.